combining the disciplines of swimming, cycling and running over a total course of 51.5 kilometres, triathlon is one of sport's most challenging events. In 2009, the world of triathlon unearthed a new star. At just 21 years of age, Great Britain's Alistair Brownlee dominated the sport, winning all 5 of the World Series events that he entered, including the Grand Final in Australia, a victory that secured him the World Series crown. Alistair and his brother Jonathan, himself a European junior champion, have become Britain's brightest hopes for a maiden Olympic triumph and gold when the Games head to London in 2012. Alistair made his Olympic debut in Beijing, finishing a creditable 12th.
Beijing showed me I could be up there with the best in the world for most of the race, but not quite all of it, so I hope to be up there and be competitive for the whole race. You know, if that meant I was up there with the best guys and came 5th, that was a good result, and 3rd or 2nd or 1st, that was an even better result. But the year started for Madrid in me at the Madrid World Series race, and I probably had the best overall performance compared to the competition on that day that I had all year, and it was an absolutely fantastic race, and I ended up winning by 40-50 seconds I think, and it was a blur really. It's been fantastic since then.
With 3 separate disciplines to train for, the triathlon requires huge levels of dedication. The Brownlees begin their day at 6:30 every morning with a 90-minute swim. They've both been part of the British triathlon performance team since the age of 14, under the tutelage of Jack Maitland, who has guided Alistair to his unique feat of winning junior, under-23 and senior world titles.
I think his strength is that he doesn't really have a weakness. You know, he's pretty good as an all-round athlete. He's quite good in all 3 sports. He races very well, and he's very competitive, but he kind of raises his game from his training performances to his racing performances. It's not to say that he's poor in training, but what you get out in a race is everything.
Following Alistair's performances in 2009, Maitland has the unenviable task of managing the heightened expectations that come with being the #1 triathlete in the world. He also has to ensure the natural rivalry between the brothers doesn't affect their training.
I think they've kind of learned that you can't be competitive against each other when you're training day in and day out, and I think that's been good in a way, because it's forced them to actually really be aware of how they feel themselves and be able to distance themselves from being competitive with somebody else in the training group, whoever that might be. And that's an important thing for any athlete to get, and it's particularly prominent here because, of course, they are brothers.
If Jonathan can make the transition into the senior ranks as successfully as Alistair, then their sibling rivalry will be projected onto the world stage. Despite the competition between them, the brothers have an extremely close friendship, something that has played a big part in their success.
I think every brother who's 2 years old are going to be really competitive, whether it's table tennis, cards, Monopoly, and then the fact that we're both competing on a kind of a world sporting stage, and we're going to be competitive, but we get along pretty well. And to be honest, it's great the way it works, because we travel a lot together, so we share rooms, and that's really good that you got someone who's so similar and you get on with well, to share a room in the big in those days before a race. So yeah, it works really well, and we train well together and stuff. So we probably spend an awful lot of time together. Considering that, I think we do pretty well.
With Jonathan following Alistair's blueprint for success, hopes are high that he can emulate his brother's achievements. This year, Jonathan will be bidding to claim the World Under-23 crown after securing silver in the Junior World Championship in 2009. Witnessing his brother's incredible performances last year have only strengthened his belief that he can one day become the best triathlete in the world.
Well, Alistair being world champion is incredible, because it's made me realise that I can do that as well. Because I used to think that the world champions would be something like different people. They used to be absolutely amazing, but now Alistair is world champion himself. It's like, oh wow, yeah, I can do that now as well. And training, he always pushes me on when we train, and I push him on as well. So it's really good like that. Every single training session, we push each other on.
He can be brilliant. He could be the best triathlete in the world without a doubt. But I think a lot of people could. again, it comes down to the luck thing. You know, for both of us, if the Olympics was on a really hilly, hard course in freezing cold rain, our chances would be a lot higher of winning it. And then suddenly you'd be the best athlete in the world and you'd be Olympic gold medalist. So, yeah, you need luck, but without that, you can be the best athlete in the world. And you know, it'll be interesting to see how it does over the next few years.
The performances of both the brothers will be under huge scrutiny as preparations for the London Olympics gather pace. However, living in their family home in Yorkshire, Alistair and Jonathan Brownlee are determined to remain unaffected by the attention and are intent on taking whatever comes their way firmly in their stride.
Idiot. What I learned in Beijing, you stood on that start line, which is the same as any other start line. There's a lake in front of you, you've got to get on your bike and you've got to run. And on either side of you, the same people you race every other week. So it's a race. And I think it's really good to remember that sometimes, especially when you stood on that start line and, you know, there's people telling you the Olympic Games and this and that, you know. But at the end of the day, a race is a race and, you know, you just want to do your best.
In 2009, Alistair Brownlee established himself as the world's best triathlete. His challenge between now and 2012 is to stay there.